Hey, yo, whoa. This is another episode of In Ski's Opinion with your gracious and humble host, Ski. This is the show about everything, nothing at all. But I, Ski, go over the trending topics uh, and what's going on in our world here. I give my opinion on scenarios and stories that's been hitting the headlines, right? So, let's jump right into the show. First topic shall be. Let me stop. Trying to make it sound like it's all dun dun dun. The interesting comment. But my first topic is gonna be about Corey Holcomb's guy. So I know you guys probably noticed that I didn't jump right in last week with everyone else on the situation with Corey and Anton Daniels. So we all know about that beef. I didn't jump in because I wanted to wait, right? Um, I wanted to wait to see what the aftermath was going to look like, what was being said, from each side. So we all caught what Anton was saying, right? And Anton, said a lot throughout this week, you got. But Corey didn't. So I chose to hold my peace on this situation until I could hear Corey's side of it. And as we know, Corey just dropped bombs. Boom. Let me stop. No, but Curry just dropped his 5150 show. And he made his response, the whole montage, I would say. Like, he came in like Saturday Night Live. Now, let me stop. But anyway, Corey came in with his response. So now I felt the need by watching everything over this entire week, last week, um, gave me the credence to say, okay, I got enough information to give my opinion on this, right? Heard both sides, what each person felt about what happened and how they handled it, right? So, um, let's see. Sorry, I need to get some of that. But anyway, so um, Corey Holcombs and Anton, got into it. You got a lot was said, disrespectful words was spit back and forth. A lot of people feel like Corey took an L off of last week's show, um, with not actually fighting or putting his hands on Anton. When Anton said what he said about Corey, that trigger. Some would say Corey took an L as far as that. I would say um, after watching the show, um, I kind of got a different outlook on that now. I would say that I don't think that he did. I don't think that he took it all the way L. I'm gonna say he took a partial L. I'm gonna give him that, and I'm gonna say Anton took the other part of that L with all the rhetoric and everything that uh, he's been speaking on all throughout the week after that. He took that he won that back and forth between him and Corey on the show to heart, and he couldn't wait to run back to his viewers to say, "Yeah, I went out there and I slayed the dragon, basically, in so many words." So I wouldn't say that Corey won that or Anton did. I think Anton hurt his situation to make him share that L, right? Because Anton, you didn't do anything either. Like, yeah, you invited the man to come outside and fight, but he jumped in your face and he said you don't care about anything or whatever. It shouldn't have been outside, and you shouldn't have cared or even understood how much the equipment cost, like Corey was saying, that made him retract and rethink about actually doing something to you or whatever he's saying, right? You didn't know that, you should have went up in his mouth. I'm pause, but you should did what you should have stood on business at that point when he even came into your face. Now, Corey got a point as far as that him knowing he's saying he's not a man, but I would say, Corey, it doesn't sit well or fare well that you saying that you wouldn't step in the face of a man. So you kind of made Anton's point as far as when he said, Corey, you only do things to people that you feel like won't do anything, or that you can do certain, you can treat them certain type of ways, and there's not going to be a repercussion behind it. You don't do that to people that you feel like you couldn't do that to. So with that being said, and what Corey just said on his show, like I'm mixing all this in, you guys. Like I said, I'm giving my opinion on the whole thing, and this is how I feel as of now. I would say with this situation, I'm gonna say that I feel like Corey may have may have put himself in Corey may have put himself in a bad with uh, not preparing himself for Anton and the antics he was on. Like you said, you didn't do the research, Corey. You admitted that, and it showed. So as far as y'all back and forth with that last week, I'm gonna say Anton had the upper hand in that, because not because you didn't, not all the way because you didn't do anything when you did get up in his face and you felt like you initiate the aggression. So I don't understand like how you feel like you saved yourself by saying, say it again. How many times does he have to? So like I said, he said it 3 times. And then he told you was doing it right then and there while y'all was going back and forth, Corey. So you can't say, I told that nigga, and he ain't say it again, did he? He didn't have to. He already said it. So you put yourself in the spot with that. But I'm not gonna say that was the entire reason why I feel like you took it ill. The other part of that is that you didn't prepare yourself. And like I said, it showed. He kind of ran circles around you as far as the conversation as well too. He he, he would throw things out there, and then you would have to do. You would have to throw out things that was not totally in what y'all conversation was about. So like you would, well, what do you got to say about the Caucasian male? Like it wasn't that time to say that when he was questioning your, intellect, and he was questioning your views on something. It's like you didn't know how to combat it. So that's what I said. Like in that form, and that was very rare for me to see. That Corey was like stuck and baffled within that exchange. So that's what I'm gonna say as far as with that on the show. With you going that far and you doing that, and then he kind of even played into that. You know, and then said what you wasn't gonna do. He knew you weren't going. Like everything you said, kind of today, Corey. He's saying to you last week on the show, to your face about you, like, and you saying this about him after the fact, like, which that's how I said is I had to look at everything, um, and then I had to look at things from a grown man perspective, right? Did Corey do the right thing by not actually attacking Anton? I'm gonna say he did. Now that I can sit back and I'm looking at the whole thing, and uh, just from being like smart, like right, and then he explained the 30-day suspension on YouTube if you fighting on and all that, like just that a month can hurt your whole entire, podcast or your show or whatever you got going on. a month off without being seen, people forget. Other people are sliding those slots, right? And then you lose half your audience or all of it. So when you look at it that way, Corey did right. You know, and he saved himself. He saved um, damage to equipment that could have went on up there as well. And he saved himself a lot of paper. So as far as that, yeah, I think he did do the right thing. The only critique I have within that is he should have thought about that before you even reacted. You can't think about that when you're going, right? And then most of the time, if you are blacking out on what somebody said and you feel that way, you don't care. You're not thinking, like your brain is not rationally thinking about, oh, if I do this and I destroy this thing, cost this much. Like you knew that before you did all of that. So I just say you shouldn't have done it at all. You should have been thinking before. But it just seemed like you so great at improvisation with being a comedian and just you being able to bounce off things. Somebody say something, you can go off of what they're saying and either send it back or send it around. So you relied on those skills and in a lot of ways it did save you. Like it kept you going back and forth with Banner, and you was quick-witted enough when he did criticize your intellect by saying your capacity, right? You caught that he was criticizing you. That shows that his capacity is a little bit higher than what you thought at the time. Because he caught that slide. You thought you was going to be able to throw an insult at this man's intelligence without him being able to understand what you was saying. And he caught it right away. Bam. Improvisation, like I said. But also, he's not as unintelligent as you think, right? So that's what I said. When I sit back and watch everything, I can analyze the whole entire situation. Anton I would have beat the out of Corey. Man, get out of here. And tell you, hey, I ain't no tough guy, but you steady saying tough guy stuff. Everything you've been talking about is how you would have did this or you would have did that to him. But you're not a tough guy. But you speaking in tough terms. Like you can't do that. Right? I would have did this to him. I'm a scrapper. That's what I do. I throw fades all the time. And I'm a Republican. Let me stop. Let me stop. But what I'm saying, like, cut it out, dude. Cut it out. I'm not a tough guy. You playing a tough guy when you saying that, right? So you can stop that. Next part I'm gonna say is the female. You know, I caught her clip, right? The Mika girl, which like Corey said, I didn't even say her name. He threw the girl name out there, and then involved her in the situation. When Corey, I think that was kind of foul as well. Like that was unplanned of you. You know what I'm saying? To even bring that up, use that man to bring that up because of what you couldn't do physically. That's what I'm saying. Well, I feel like you was ill prepared for this guy that you had to even you got like I was just saying last week on the show about people saying that you was a hater. That was some hater-ish. Regardless of whatever he doing with this woman, they don't have nothing to do with y'all back and forth for y'all bank. And him trying to put her on the show and you putting her on blast when she didn't get on the show, nobody would never even knew that. You didn't have to bring that up. But anyway, when she came out and she spoke, she did speak in a calm manner. She articulated herself well, and she made herself come off as if she's kind of the victim of this. I didn't do anything. I was told this and this, but she did also look like she's not always happy with Anton. She know Anton played her, but she said she's nobody's side chick. Well, I can't say that she is, but I also can't say that she ain't because she said She's not. Like there's people, well, yeah, I don't know if she heard what she said. We can't do that because she's saying that she's supposed to say that. But she's supposed to say, yeah, I'm popping this dude off and he married. He paying me or whatever, or he promising me things like he gonna put me on the 5150 show 2 weeks ago. He didn't even know he was coming on the show. But he probably was planning on having a situation where he would come on 5150 show. Yeah, I'm gonna bring you with me. I'm gonna put you on the 5150 show. But you wasn't going there. He made it seem like he was going there to get her on the show, to promote her stuff. Right? So I think she upset with him too. Um, but Corey kind of played himself today with on the show this week with still coming at this one. Regardless of whatever she's trying to make it look like, you don't play into it and even more so victimize. Because that's how they're gonna make it play out. Or look what he said to her. Look what he telling her to mess with him. Okay, this is what Corey said something because he was mad he wanted her. He mad that Anton had. Right? So you go right back into saying some ignorant mess while you trying to defend what happened when I got a lot of love for Corey Holcomb. It's a fellow Chicagoan. Um, but in this situation, he's not faring well. Like I've watched Corey, I see him, say some foul things about people, and then when he get called out on or being corrected on what he said, he actually apologized. Like he had one young lady on the show, he said some foul things about that's and then put light on and then apologized to her. Like he says a lot of wild things, shock value type things, right? And his views or whatever is very controversial. But Corey also is one who will tell the truth and admit when he wrong or whatever, or if he misspoke. So watching the show is like you can't accept that you can't accept that you lost to a certain extent on this battle, like I said, but you done it against somebody who actually hurt themselves. But he thought because everybody could see his agenda, and then the thing that he say about us, and you're supposed to be one of us. Like, dude, I don't understand, that part of it. You can't admit and say that you're a black person. I'm a Christopher. Like, what are you saying? What does that have to do with him asking you, do you identify as a black man? I identify as a Christian before anything. Hey, brother, you black. You know you black, but you playing into this thing. Like, so I don't get at the time, but I ain't really here to bash either one of these brothers. My thing is I'm giving my opinion on what I think. And what I think was a lot of back and forth about two brothers who got two totally different views on life and the way that they see things, right? And it was a clash. One brother tried to embarrass another and then end up embarrassing themselves. And then the other brother doubled down on the mishap. Like he's not faring well with that L. Like what happened on his show, Corey is not faring well to it. He can't admit that, yeah, he got me. He caught me off guard. He's saying that, yeah, I didn't reach so he wouldn't have been on the show. Okay, Corey, so that's what I'm saying. Just admit that he got you. To a certain extent. He didn't all the way get you. Like he was trying to get you, but he got you. So you have to admit that. Like, right, but that don't make you the victor of anything, Anton, because like I said, with everything that you've been saying this past week is a contradiction of everything coming out your mouth is a contradiction. I ain't a tough guy, but you saying tough guy terminology about what you would do to somebody. Listen, like it just sounds ridiculous, and it all sounds like it was planned. So when you lose your authenticity, right? It's hard to bounce back from that, right? And I think that he's showed his hand. He went on there to destroy Corey, but it actually, I think, brought more awareness and put more eyes on Corey's show. Corey do 10 to 15,000 views every week, right? For 2-3 hours while he on the show. Yesterday's show, Corey had 22, 24, 25,000 people viewing his show. He didn't double his viewership. Even though he didn't take accountability for what happened last week, he still got enough to talk about because I wasn't sure beyond that. He kept bringing up things about what was going on. That's why I said it gave me more of an outlook on what really happened or transpired. But at the beginning of the show, he took like 20, 30, 25, 30 minutes going through it. Kind of like what I'm doing now on this show. So, and then the rest of the show, it's a great show, man. He got a good show. And that's all I really got to say about that right now. I would say that I think both of the brothers kind of played themselves in that scenario. That's my opinion. Just my opinion, you guys. So it's the next thing I want to talk about is Fat Joe. So you got Fat Joe who went in. I'm going to say this, you guys. He went in. Let me stop. Went in on J. Cole, right? He said, how do you look at J. Cole now when he bowed out? When, he carried away from the beef, when it was going on, And he wasn't outside. That's what Joy said. He wasn't outside, man. Right. So Joe went in. He like, I don't respect him, no more, which, I mean, in a lot of sense, I gotta respect what Joey's saying. Kiss, come back on the other hand, and he like, no, what he spitting now, tell you it's the music, all that don't matter. He like, as he said with the situation with them and 50, right? He said, with 50 doing all of that, doesn't that matter when it came to the bars that they spit, that the people, it couldn't kill, he couldn't crush. You couldn't crush pure talent, right? Like that, like how he did the others, right? I'm gonna say, even Fat Joe. Joe would admit it, but 50 hurt him. But he does it, man. I ain't gonna say that. Let me refrain from saying that. He did say that. He like they shut him out, and he did. He destroyed his career at that point, right? But Joe said, what do you feel about J. Cole? So Kiss feel like, he can redeem himself with the bars, he lyrics. And he's saying this new stuff is going to bring it back. Joe saying no. Got to give my opinion on this, you guys. I have to agree with Joe. I'm sorry. It ain't hard to agree with Joe. But like I said, I keep it real, man. When it is, it does. It does not look the same, don't feel the same. I don't know if I believe what you're saying now, right? Because you did that. So that was Joe's opinion of it. This is my opinion of it. I have to agree because it does. It puts a stain on you, dude. Not that you lost because you was battling and the dude, like how Drake, he just went with it. Kid, you came out on top of that, right? But he looks better in our eyes, even with taking that L, than you do by bowing out, right? You ran away from it. That says something about your penmanship, as good as it is, it says something about it. You didn't trust it, right? And you made the excuse to say it didn't sit right with my soul. Dude, you made that whole song, mixed and mastered it. You had time to not put that up. You thought about it after you put it out, and then it hit you, or did the fear hit you? That man, this dude I'm scared of what he's gonna come back and say about me, and I don't know if this verse that I put out was even hard enough to compete with anything. And I don't know what else. I don't know what he's gonna say I'm gonna even be able to recover from it. So that was fear. And that was not trusting his own pen. So how am I trusted? Like, and that's why I'm gonna say, Jada, I get what you're saying. It's good music. Good music is good music. It's gonna sell, but he does look a certain type of way, and it's not the same. It's not the same for a lot of people. Now I ain't gonna say every. It's that high Fayetteville, fans. They there. He's not. That's not. He got a cult follower. So that's not finna do that. But I have to agree with Joe as far as how he looks now. It does. You ran, dude. You ran. Well, that's all I'll say about that. Okay, so the next and maybe I think last subject I'm gonna touch on is Nicki Minaj and Don Lemon, right? This is hilarious, you guys. This is totally hilarious, right? So Don Lemon and Nicki Minaj are going back and forth because I think Don Lemon said something about ice, and Nicki came out and said something about ice, but said something they saying was homophobic or whatever, right? Because she responded to Don Lemon. So I'm assuming that she has some derogatory things to say about Lemon. So these just quick takes, right quick, that I'm throwing out there, you guys, with certain things that I've been hearing about. I want to give a quick opinion on. And this situation with Nicki, I think is pretty funny because she could throw some daggers there. Like, even though she's kind of outside of the realm of reality with us anymore, because I don't even think she claimed to be black anymore. And she's been a puppet at this point in time. When she lost us. She's still entertaining, right? So she's saying some ill stuff. So I gotta stay tuned on that, and I would ask for you guys to put in the comment, what do y'all think about what's going on with Nick and Don Lemon and how they're going back and forth? Because he's screaming she's homophobic and she's a hate monger and all this, right? So what do you guys think? Do y'all think that Don Lemon got a point with Nicki Minaj, being homophobic or whatever now? Which I don't know. So I would just say, let's keep an eye on this developments. I'll probably come back with an update pretty soon, so I'm going to be watching the next couple of days. If any more things do pop up or occur, you will get a Inski's opinion update alert on this situation and other topics, right? I think I'm going to start popping in between these episodes with update alerts. Stay a little bit more in tune and in touch. Like I said, I purposely didn't jump out there on the Corey Holcomb story because I did want to get the entirety of what's going on as far as with Corey and how this all played out, because he wasn't speaking this week. So I wanted to give him the fair chance to come back with a rebuttal. And then give my opinion, and that's what I did about that. So you wouldn't have got an update from me as far as that because I could not render an opinion on that situation until I got Corey's side, and I did this week. So I would touch one more thing. I would go on one more thing. So you guys, y'all hear about the smoke that Drewski is getting from these pastors, the mega pastors, that they call it. So Drewski got the pastors mad, right? They reading off some of the comments that the pastors been saying, and their reaction and response to Drewski doing the skit about the mega churches, right? And he got my one brother who, put the saliva on the other brother's face, and they say they think it was his brother or whatever. Now it comes out that it's all a scam. Like, but we know they scam, and that's what they do. That's what the mega pastors do, right? They come up with their little schemes or whatever. So, I don't spend a lot of time on this, but I just want to touch on Drewski, doing these skits. And that skit was hilarious, man. Keep doing what you're doing, Drewski. You're a genius, brother. And these productions are major. Like, these look like television productions. He's doing this on YouTube, y'all. So, continue doing what you're doing, Drewski. Salute, As far as the pastors and they outlined that one of them called him a B.A., you know what I'm saying? N-word. Like, he's upset that, like, they true colors, he didn't bring their true colors out on them, right? These pastors be pimps and all that kind of stuff, so that vernacular, what I'm saying, come out, right? They say one of them called him, did you ever be, that, right? Oh, excuse me. So yeah, they coming with it, and they some of them saying they attacking the church. With this is an assault against the church, and this ain't no assault against the church, man. This is a rendition of what people are saying. You guys are charlatans. You are. You charlatans. Y'all taking people money. You out here and Versace suits, and you got your wives, you got BBL, they look like the video victims and whatever, like y'all living the whole lifestyle that don't have nothing to do with God, man. Martin Luther King and them they was playing. You humble, you meek, you're not flashy and flamboyant, like that don't even look right, man. That the pastor got all that. How you riding around in the Bentley? Like, come on. It always made me feel a certain type of way when I was younger, and I used to see them in Cadillacs. Like, dude, we in the project. This dude pull up to the church in the project in a Cadillac. This is back in the day, you guys. So Cadillac was like the Bentley is now, or the Lambo or whatever. Like, that was Cadillacs and Benzes was that back then, right? Because we didn't know no better or no difference. But those guys had to, like, they've been scheming and raping the community for decades, man. Because I'm gonna say the hopeless need some hope, right? And hope is a addiction stronger than dope. So you can sell hope in abundance, man. And that's what they do. We're going to pray for you. Pay your tithes. Come here. Donate to the church. Make sure, God's house is righteous and right. And, we get to use these resources to help you guys out. And they do little things like daycare centers, this and that. But then they charge you a fee for it. Or if they not charge you a fee for it, and it's hard to get in there because everybody trying to get up into this free resource, but they got a grant for it. They get money from the state or somewhere for it. So they're not even paying for that, but that's something they'll push that little paper through, but they probably funneling some of that paper up out of there because now I have to pay my staff and da-da-da, but why are you getting a salary, Pastor? So it's crazy to me like that. That these hypocrites, like I said, charlatans are bashing this brother because he made a skit about how you guys are acting, right? Change the way you acted. Like I think I see two pictures or whatever. Some of these pastors that he was, mocked, that he was, parodying, um, dressed up plain now, right? He got black suit on. One brother look like Martin Luther King. But I'm just saying, this neither here nor there, right? You got, but I'm gonna say that this has been another episode of In Ski's Opinion with your gracious, humble host, your man, your guy, the one and only Ski. You know, uh, sure about everything and nothing at all. You got, like I said, I will be popping in here and there with update. In Ski's Opinion update news alerts, on stories that's popping up in between these episodes so that I may stay more current and consistent with you guys on getting y'all the information from my point of view. Peace, love. I'm out. This has been another episode of In Ski's Opinion. Ski.